Hello. Today, we will look at an excerpt from the 1554th Saturday Lecture, Heavenly Blueprints Navigating Graduation, from Suffering and an Inner Spiritual Dashboard. Let's compile together the spiritual mechanisms of truth and effort required to reach our destination, the White Palace. Let's take a look at the 10 stages of spiritual evolution. You move through the basic stages, progressing from the small person to the great person, and then you pass through the intermediate stages, those of the sage, the iron person, the wayfarer, and finally the saint. What matters most? Here is the distinction between the 9th stage, the true personal state, after graduating from earthly suffering, and the 10th stage, divine person, which is the limit humanity can reach and also falls within the absolute creator's domain. Now we learn about liberation from striving. People before the stage of the enlightened one live bearing a heavy burden of life due to friction arising from karma and relationships, but graduating as an enlightened one means complete liberation from the burden of consuming energies like this. Now, action is driven not by fatigue, but by intentional spiritual alignment. Check your spiritual dashboard to stay aligned within. Just as a driver watches the instrument panel, we must monitor in real time the indicators of measurement and capacity, action, and stillness, and conscience, especially in quiet moments. Regularly checking whether your spiritual engine isn't overheating is the key to preventing accidents. This is the instinct to return spiritually, as seen through the law of the salmon, fighting your way upstream through the river called a harsh world is like a human instinct to return to the Creator. The flow of worldly desire is powerful, but we have an inner navigation system that surpasses even the most advanced technology. This is the time when intentional upward effort is required. Your posture and spiritual alignment before going to sleep are very important. Sleeping on your side is an incorrect posture that puts pressure on your internal organs. As a spiritual being, lying straight with your body facing the sky is the proper posture unique to humans. Before you go to sleep every night, enter the dream realm with a clear soul through a nightly gratitude practice that wipes away your day's spiritual dashboard clean. The law of candles, speaking about the light in human relationships, encouraging others, forgiving them, and lighting a candle do not diminish your own light at all. On the contrary, actions that break another person's pride or fan the winds of resentment to extinguish a candle darken your own spiritual network. Reflect on how many candles I lit today. 2 driving forces that power the vehicle called family, the accelerator and the brake. If the husband is the accelerator, mainly responsible for social expansion and loyalty, then the wife plays the role of the brake, preserving the home and managing risks. This confrontation isn't an error, it's a necessary, meticulously designed plan for stable forward progress. The paradox of married life, namely, the art of harmony. If you have only 2 accelerators, you'll get high-speed accidents. If you have only 2 brakes, you'll end up stuck in place. The fact that different opinions exist is proof that the assumption is surviving and moving forward. The key is how to harmonize this difference rather than striving for perfect agreement. This is the principle of thousandfold learning. If there are 1,000 peaks, then there must also be 10,000 valleys. A sage's perspective is to look down on the entire landscape from the peaks. Without getting entangled in the minor frictions of this valley, life's hardships are like unavoidable geological structures, so respond with serene composure. We move from an era of delegated prophecies toward an era of direct revelation, the era in which we depended on the interpretations of past sages has passed. Now we meet spiritual truth directly, without addition or omission, through the new saints' own teachings, namely, sermons. It's time to move beyond fragmented interpretations and experience a direct spiritual connection. This is the crown of ultimate destiny, the crown given when you reach the White Palace is not the same for everyone. Like diamonds, sapphires, and topaz, its shape and brilliance are meticulously customized according to the total amount of light you shared by overcoming the hardships and sweat you shed on the earth. Finally, I will summarize the entire heavenly architecture. It is a journey that begins with escaping the hardships of the first stage, finding balance in the household, checking the inner dashboard, and finally returning to the source. The path of the enlightened is not about eliminating earthly hardships, but about freeing oneself from ignorance. Master this spiritual mechanism, and complete your journey toward the White Palace.